trisomy 21, where the 21st chromosome was missegregated such that 2 copies went to one, and 1 copy went to the other. You cannot be monosomy 21 and survive, but if you have trisomy 21, you end up with Down syndrome. And you can also pull sex chromosomes around a little bit differently to end up with different ploidies regarding those chromosomes. Any concerns with mitosis? Because now you are experts on mitosis, and we can explain meiosis, which is the actual important part of this class. Concerns? First thing you should do is take this page out of your book and crumple it up into little tiny pieces. It's horrible, the way they drew it. Absolutely, utterly horrible. I don't know why they do it. It's drawn this way in every single textbook. Let's worry about mitosis for a second. In this organism, instead of having 3 chromosomes, it now only has 2. But the red one is chromosome 1, and the gray one is chromosome 2. And normally you would duplicate chromosome 1 and chromosome 2. You would then pull 1 chromosome 1 to the left, 1 chromosome 2 to the left, 1 chromosome 1 to the right, 1 chromosome 2 to the right. And you would end up with 2 daughter cells that both had chromosome 1 and chromosome 2. Makes perfect sense. Then it's shown right next to this picture that it still has a gray chromosome and still has a red chromosome. And you would think that those are chromosomes 1 and chromosomes 2. They're not. They're chromosome 1 from your mom and chromosome 1 from your dad. I don't know why they couldn't have made it a different color. I don't know why they couldn't have done it slightly differently, but that's the way they did it. Lisa walked out. Oh, you were asleep. I was trying to hit you, and I kind of hurt my arm, but I was trying to hit you with tricks today. Ooh, that really did hurt. I'm going to have to throw up. So don't think of these as being identical things, right? They have to be different. In meiosis, the colors could, depending on the picture in the textbook you look at, represent different chromosomes, or they could represent the chromosome that you have from your mom and the chromosome that you have from your dad. So we're going to come back to this picture in a second. We're going to skip a couple of slides here, but I want to show you this. I had a young woman come up to me and say, my book ends at page 1269, and you're telling me to read page 1270. Yes, I am. The textbook, when it was published, chapters 21 through 25 were written, they were done, but they weren't typeset, and they didn't make it to the printer on time. There's very strict rules. Molecular biology of the cell is probably used in 75% of the universities across the United States. Huge business that the company did not want to lose. So, instead of holding up the publication of their book and forcing all of us instructors to switch to a different book, they decided, well, we'll just print it like it was last time, and we'll send everybody a nice little CD free with their book so that they can read the other 4 chapters. Version 6 has them all printed in there, and the book is bigger, and now it's even more expensive. But if you're looking for them, they're on CD, and if you cannot find them on CD, ask your neighbor. If your neighbor still cannot find them, we can find them in many, many places for you. But if you bought the book, it should have come with the CD for it. So let's start here. You are a diploid organism, right? I hope you're a diploid organism. A diploid organism means that you have 2 copies of all of your genetic material. There's certain advantages of that. If you mess up 1 copy, you have a backup. If not, whether you messed it up or maybe someone along in your lineage messed it up. The vast majority of the cells in your body are diploid. Females in the room, you have haploid cells. You've had them from birth, and you are never, ever, ever going to get any more. Every egg that you've ever had existed at the time you hatched out of your mom, and you will never, ever make a new one. Boys in the room, men in the room, whatever you want to refer to yourselves, males, you will make billions upon billions of sperm. I want to ask, if you have a sibling, stand up. This will wake everybody up. If you have a sibling, right? If you have more than 1 sibling, stay up. More than 2 siblings. These are the people that need kids. More than 3 siblings. More than 4. Pittsburgh, I have a feeling you're going to win. More than 5. Oh, he gets to sit. No. 6. 7. 8. The record's 11. 8. You have 8 in your 8? Congrats. That's like candy right there. All right, so, assuming, all right, so assuming that these people represent the norm of the planet, women, you are born typically with tens of thousands of ova. Maximum use we got right now per person was 9. I think there's somebody on the Discovery Channel whose baby must just fall out. He's had like 22 kids or something, right? Something crazy like that. But that's not the most you'll use. The record that I've heard from males actually reproducing in sort of a harem environment, which I wouldn't support, but it's out there in the world, is somewhere about 120, 130 kids. That's about the maximum number of the direct offspring that I've seen. But in an average room like this, 200 Americans, and some of you have come from overseas, having 9 kids is out of the ordinary by far. Right? And gentlemen, you will make roughly, from the time you hit puberty to the day you die, about 1 billion sperm a day. You have absolutely no use for the rest of them. So, there's nothing I can really tell you. But basically, sex is really great in terms of evolution. There's a difference between sex and mating, all right? Let's go with that. So, but sexual reproduction is particularly useful for a lot of different ways. You get a lot of advantage by mixing things.